Hi everyone, it's me, it's Amy Shaw. I just thought I'd come on and show you one of the cards that I've been doing at the demonstrations every weekend that I do at various shops throughout the country. And this is one that I have done with my I absolutely adore this stamp. This is the Robin on a Boot from Woodware. And I've done lots of different things with this, but this is just one of them. Now, you can see that I've just stamped it, but when I tilt it, it's so much better in person, but when I tilt it, can you see this glittery effect? And everybody says to me, how have you stamped onto glitter card? How have you done that? So the thing is, what I wanted a glittery finish, but you can't stamp on glitter card because you just can't get that precise image with your stamps. So I'm going to show you how to do this. It's very, very simple. It's using one of my favourite all-time products that I have used for years now, and I'm still using. This is Kaleidascope Embossing Powder. Now, if you're looking out for this, this is from Stampendous. Fabulous embossing powder, Stampendous Stamp and Stuff, and it is Kaleidascope that you need to look for. It is only Kaleidascope that you can get these different effects that I'm going to show you. So, how we start off, of course we start off with the stamp. And this is my stamp, I've used it quite a few months now, but I absolutely adore it. So, all I'm going to do with this, my stamp, the clear acrylic, I've just put it onto my acrylic block. I'm going to take my Memento, my Tuxedo Black in Memento, and I'm going to ink up my stamp. So sorry if my camera is vibrating a little bit as I do this, but it can't be helped. So I'm going to do lots of little taps with this and get my stamp covered in my Tuxedo Black. The reason I use Memento is that it's one that I always carry with me, because of course you can use it with your pro markers, but it just really gives a really good coverage, and it's a lovely black. There's so many different shades of black out there, as we all know, and this is just one of my preferred. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to stamp onto my white card. Give it an even press. I always keep one hand down and then follow around with the other. And press this evenly and lift up. And there you can see we've got our beautiful Robin on a Boot. So now, to get the glittery effect, the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to heat set my black Memento ink. Now, of course, you don't need to do this if you are just going to use your pro markers on it, or you're going to colour it in, or any other kind of things, you're just going to matte and layer it. You don't need to heat set it, but we do need to heat set it for this technique that I'm going to do. So I'm just giving it a quick blast just over with my heat gun. Just leave that to cool down a second, and I've just let that set. Next, I'm going to use Watermark ink pad. Now, Watermark ink pad is a new product this year from Top Boss. You've probably heard of Top Boss. They make fabulous ink pads, and they brought out a Watermark ink pad. I'm going to do a video more in depth about this ink pad because I think it's fabulous. But this is a clear embossing ink pad. So what I'm going to do with this, I am now going to cover all of this with my Top Boss ink pad. And this is the reason why we set the black ink with the heat gun. If we hadn't have set the black ink with the heat gun, as I'm now pressing this into it, all the ink from the image will come off onto the ink pad, and I'd be putting it all over my lovely stamped image and just ruining it. So always make sure you give it a quick blast just to heat set the ink. So that's my watermark. I'm now going to take my Kaleidoscope powder and just grab a piece of paper to collect it up with under here, and I'm going to throw it over. And I always say, you know, don't be ladylike about this, just chuck it all on. Technical term, chuck it all on, because you tap all the excess off and you collect it back up anyway. So don't be sparing about it, just get it all over. So I'm now going to put my embossing powder to the side, and then you can see, well, I hope you can see, can you just see this glittery effect? So now, of course, because it's an embossing powder, we have to heat set it. So I always give a good old waft to start it going. And the way that you can tell with Kaleidoscope that it is set, because it's not as easy to see as any normal colour like your gold to silvers, The way to see it is your black ink will all of a sudden pop through when it is heat set. So you can see this is now popping through. You can see my snowdrops have come through. I know sometimes it's difficult to see on the camera, but you can see that the snowdrops have popped through there. My grass is coming through. And this is all there is to it. So I'm just heating it all up. This is a heat gun, by the way. This isn't a hairdryer. That's another question I get asked. This is the heat tool that I use. It's a hairdryer style. The reason I use this at home anyway is because it is so much quieter than a normal long heat gun. It doesn't wake up my husband and my little boy at early hours in the morning when I'm crafting. So there you can see that I have now heat set that, and I'm hoping this camera will pick it up. Can you see? There you go. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That is just stunning. Quick test as well to see if it is all set and you've heated it all properly. Because with a gold or a silver embossing pad, you can see it raises up and then it goes shiny, so you can see that it's done. With this, you can't really see that. So rub your finger very, very lightly over the top. If none comes away on your finger, you are done. And that is now ready to mat and layer onto your card and create, look at that shine, I love it, and create something like this, just with some nice Christmas paper in the background, and you have got a kaleidoscope embossing powder robbing on a boot, which looks like you've stamped on glitter card. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, I'll be along with the next tutorial very soon. Bye bye.